like to welcome you to Aloran's Palace of Healing. Come on in, all are welcome. Stay a while, like, share, subscribe, set your notifications, and let's get into this. All right, thanks for tuning in to the Lawrence Palace of Healing. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel. Please like, share, subscribe, hit your notification button, show your boys some love. Just here to drop a little bit of knowledge. It's like 1 something in the morning. Couldn't sleep, so figured I'd just chat with y'all. Sometimes we spend so much time chasing things that don't belong to us. You see that person that always has to go after the person that's the challenge, because they think they can change someone. Newsflash. The person that you met is going to be who they are. So who they were when you met them is who they are. Now, their ability to change depends on them. It does not depend on you. So, thinking that we can meet somebody and mold them into the image that we want, and then somehow we're going to be happy, and they're going to be happy, and no one is actually being their authentic selves. And that's kind of the thing. It's like we meet people, we want them to be a certain way so that they match us, mainly because we maybe like the way they look, we like the job they have, we like certain aspects, and then there's just like a whole bunch of other stuff we don't like. But we sit there and kind of justify why we stay in that relationship and why we settle and why we just maintain when we don't have to. I mean, life is so short. It's bananas that people won't even think about their own happiness anymore. A lot of that too is just maintaining old belief systems that something isn't worth it if you don't fight for it. And I don't think that's true. If it's yours, it's yours. It's supposed to be yours. You shouldn't have to fight for it. Shouldn't have to beg, shouldn't have to plead, shouldn't have to do any of those things. If they want to be there, they'll be there. There shouldn't be any games. But granted, there are some people that, for them, seeing this as normal. I say that being maybe mom and dad weren't always steady or stable. So they tend to attract someone that's kind of similar to the cycle that they've lived with. And sometimes, you know, as you get older, you don't think about the cycles we go through with the people that we attract and how they're always linked back to something in the childhood that may have happened to you. Or maybe just not feeling accepted or feeling abandoned or not quite feeling like everybody else. A lot of that shapes how you enter into a potential relationship. If you aren't cognizant of what it is you're bringing to the table in terms of your attributes and your negatives, say for instance, you do have maybe a tendency to get a little bit insecure with someone having male or female friends or to that effect. And maybe like social media bothers you, that kind of thing. You kind of have to look at, why am I so insecure? Like, what if this person is actually not like everybody else that I've dealt with, but because I've dealt with such and such a situation, every time I see somebody touch their phone, I think they're doing something wrong. And then the way that you look at that person, and they may not have even done anything wrong, they just, looking at videos on Facebook giggling, and you look at them like, what are you looking at? And you just start to lose your mind because you think they're up to something, when in reality they're actually home every night trying to be with you. So that's just an example. But a lot of that insecurity shapes you. So you don't really think about it, but you bring that in, and then you're viewing someone through that lens of insecurity that you grew up with, which is not necessarily fair for them. But at the same time, once you start to become cognizant of these things, you can have that discussion and kind of let them know, hey, I deal with these issues. This is who I am. I don't know if you can handle it, but if you can, I love you and thank you for staying in there with me. And you kind of just have that talk and be honest about whatever it is you're dealing with. If you deal with anxiety and depression from time to time, say that. It's time to start being your authentic self. Like, why hide who you are from anyone? At the end of the day, you have to live your life for yourself. You have to love yourself. And you have to look at, is what I'm doing loving to myself? Is this relationship that I'm in loving to myself? Do I feel an overwhelming sense of anxiety when this person comes home or when I sleep next to them? What is this? And then, you got to kind of start to trust yourself. I think a lot of the largest trust issues are because people don't know how to trust themselves. So you kind of project that onto the other person because somebody stabbed you in the back in your childhood. Mom and dad may have argued and lied. Dad wasn't there. You just saw him just be disgusting to people, or you saw mom do the same thing, or whatever it is that you saw that frames that lens. So, I don't know, I guess I'm just in a little stream of consciousness. We have to be cognizant of who we are. Sometimes it takes a minute because it's like you go through relationship, all of them ending in a similar fashion, or you're attracting a similar person, and you have to ask yourself why. And maybe it's because that one relationship that you had that took you forever to kind of shake. There's elements of you that still misses that person. So maybe you kind of look for other similar attributes in other people that you deal with. And you're never really conscious of that. But then one day it's like, man, I keep meeting someone just like this. I keep meeting someone just like this. I keep meeting some. It's like again and again and again and again and again and again. And it's like, so it's like, what do I have to learn to not repeat the cycle? So you kind of have to learn how to go within and sit with yourself. No one is responsible to protect your heart but you. So you can blame the other person all that you like for not being there, for not being good to you. But at the end of the day, you have to take accountability and responsibility for, why did I stay there as long as I did? Why did I put up with this when I didn't have to? Why didn't I realize my self-worth and walk away? What was it about this person? And kind of address that. Because like once you can sit with that, you'll make better choices. A lot of breaking these cycles, especially generational cycles, they all boil down to noticing the patterns inside of the family, inside of the cycles. Even with just lovers you've been with, look at the cycles and then try to understand why I picked what I do. And once you can see that, that allows you the room to analyze, navigate, make different choices. So for instance, maybe you just moved too fast. You didn't take time to really get to know the person. Maybe you were with them for a long time, but you didn't see who they really were because you weren't listening to those pangs of anxiety that you would get at certain instances or when certain arguments would happen or things of that nature. You didn't listen to yourself. You didn't trust you. So it's not so much that, and maybe they did do you like hella dirty. I've been there. And I'm not saying that they didn't. But what I'm saying is, you were watching them the whole time. But you wanted that relationship so bad. And maybe it's time to stop wanting things that bad, that hurt us. Walk away from what no longer serves you. If that relationship is bad for you, as difficult as it may seem, leave. You'll see how much easier it gets. Go no contact. Don't talk to them. Block the number. Delete all the emails, the texts, the pictures, everything. Start fresh. What do you need that for? You got to start healing yourself and living for you. There's no amount of placebo that can substitute for self-love. So you kind of have to learn that. And there are different ways. Myself, I'm spiritual. Some people need to turn to something to kind of help ease them out of that void. Whatever it is, let it be positive. If it brings positive change to your life, do it. And that could be just as simple as starting a workout regimen, taking care of your body, changing your diet. If your self-esteem is low, work out. Change your diet. Change your life. Just stay working at it. Do something every day. You don't even necessarily need a gym membership. One thing COVID taught me is that anything can be done in the house. So you can learn to do some decent push-ups, chair dips, all kinds of sit-ups and side dips, and etc. But there's just different ways to accomplish whatever you need to do. Start taking care of your body. Because not only is that going to make you more marketable, but it's going to help you heal on the inside as well. Because you're releasing all of that negativity through the act of exertion, whether it's being, taking a walk, getting on a heavy bag, lifting some weights, going for a run. But the number one start in self-care is self-care. So you have to start taking care of yourself and doing some of the healthier things. I'm still a work in progress myself. I'm not perfect. But I've been where all of you have been. So I can speak on a lot of this. And I can say, at one point I was pushing 260 pounds. And my blood pressure was horrible. Sleep apnea was horrible. I was depressed. Stayed in the hospital. And then I had that turnaround moment where it was like, you know what? I need to be here. And as I started just doing different things like my fitness regimen and doing things that I love to do, it helped me start coming out of that fog. So find your outlet, but also beyond just like your outlet or your hobby or something you used to do when you were a kid that you no longer do, but maybe you want to do it. Start doing it. Why not? If you like model cars, go buy you a model car set, put the car together, paint it. If you like doing art or you used to draw, do that. If you like making music and you can sing a song. Do what brings you life. But work on that on your physical shell as well. Because along with that, you're going to attract better. You're going to glow. Your spirits are going to soar. You're going to feel good. I'm telling you firsthand. But these are just some late night thoughts. I'll be back with some more later. I promise y'all I will get to the tarot and the oracle and all of that good stuff. But yeah, just wanted to come chat with y'all. One love, peace and blessings. Ashe.